It's showtime.
Hello and welcome to Musical Lyrical Lingo. We're your hosts, Tim
and LJ. Today and every week we will be discussing musicals, but specifically what they taught us.
Exactly. Sorry if you hear a creaky seat. I just can't sit still.
Yeah.
I can't help it. Like my bum gets sore and then I'm like, I need to move.
Can't stop the beat.
No, I'm like ran out of Footloose. I just can't stand still. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Do-do-do-do-do. Ooh.
Oh, cushion. See? He's brilliant. That's why he's here, folks.
Is it?
Well, let's see if he stays awake today.
Let's see. He will. There's coffee in front of him. There's nuts. He's ready.
Born ready.
Born ready.
Are you ready?
I am ready. I really like this musical that we're going to talk about this week.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Me too.
I know.
And you know what was lovely? And this is why I love this podcast. It's why I came back for series 2.
Yeah.
I hadn't actually listened to it in, I would say, a good, like, we could even be talking, like, double-figure years.
Oh, really?
Genuinely, yeah. And listening back to all the songs, I'm like, oh, it brings it all back.
Yeah. But-
and I still was word perfect, to be fair.
Yes, I noticed that too. I was listening to it and I was like, how do I know all these words? How do I know all these words? Like, it's been years.
I think it's one of those songs that are one of those musicals. The songs are so good and catchy, and like I think I was a bit obsessed by it at the time because it was so different that I think I listened to it a lot, like more than I needed to. Do you know what I mean? Why is that on? Oh no, I just can't read the timer. I'm looking at the screen going, why have we been recording for an hour and 55 minutes? But it's actually 1 minute 55 seconds. Oh gosh.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a long night.
It's been a long week.
Yeah, okay.
I need a new job. Any ideas?
Full-time podcaster?
I mean, I don't know if I'm that good.
Theatrical chimney sweep.
Don't. Why are you bringing that up again? Like, I think therapy is required. Last week brought back a whole new low for me. It just cast me back to the time when I just went, sorry, what? Mr. Flippin' Banks?
Right. So
anyway, we'll move on.
No. Do you think that you need, like, after an episode which has maybe brought up some bad memories, we need to book a wee online therapy session?
I think we need to book a show, a theatre ticket. That's what we need to book.
That's our therapy.
Also,
musicals.
We really mucked up last week.
Why?
Because we didn't actually mention or pay homage to Glynis Johns, who was the original Winifred Banks in the movie, and she recently passed away. Mm-hmm. And we did mention the character and her song and all of that, and we didn't mention her passing, so that was a bit bad of us.
No.
But we have now.
We have now. Bless her.
Down or over. And we move on.
And we move on.
Yeah.
To this week's musical.
Yeah.
Which we're going to do a little disclaimer.
Oh, are we?
Well, this musical is very adult.
Yes, very definitely an adult affair.
Yeah.
I remember at the time on the posters, it said, all the publicity for the show, it said, warning, contains full puppet nudity, not suitable for children. So there we go.
Yeah.
We're not stripping naked. That actually gives the wrong messages out to our listeners.
No, we're definitely not doing
So no, we're not actually, there's no nudity today. No. Especially now that we're trying out the recording, like as in like video recordings.
Yeah, I know. You keep moving in that chair.
I do keep moving. But listen.
It's fine.
Give me a squeaky chair. What do you expect me to sit still for an hour?
It's fine. Yes, no, it is an adult musical with some very graphic. Some songs are a little bit rude. Okay, so if you do not feel like this would be for you, then maybe switch off. If you're underage,
or just give it a go. You never know. Like, it might be your new thing.
It might be. It might be.
2024.
So this musical that we're talking about this week
is Avenue Q. I love it. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it is. It is a great musical. You introduced me to this musical.
Did I? Mm-hmm. I don't remember. So your memory is so much better than mine. I didn't realise that.
Yeah, we were in school.
Of
course.
I
think we loved it because it was a little bit naughty.
It was a little bit naughty, risque. But you know what? It said some things that needed to be said in a kind of one of those things where, like, lessons you learn from having laughed out loud initially and going, oh, actually, do you know what? Fair enough. They've got a point. Or actually, you made me laugh, but there's a message or a link or a reason behind it. And I love that kind of learning.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? That you kind
Real
of,
life lessons.
You laugh first of all and then go, oh yeah, but fair enough. That's a good point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Clever, really
It's a very,
clever.
very clever musical. I feel the musical does teach you lots of lessons, and we'll probably get on to that.
Yeah.
But I'll talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, what's the background?
I've got a little bit, and I'm sure you can jump in. So it is a musical comedy with puppets.
Yes.
Yeah. Music and lyrics are by Robert Lopez, and Robert Lopez's name may sound familiar because of Frozen.
Let it go.
Him and his wife are the fabulous writing team from all of the Frozen films.
However, you think Avenue Q and then you think Frozen and go, the same person?
I know.
What?
I know. So music and lyrics are by Robert Lopez and Jeff Marks, and they met at a script writing, sort of like they were interested in musicals but wanted something just a little bit different. And
let me guess, a workshop?
Yeah.
A lab?
A lab, yeah.
Out of town something?
Yeah.
All these weird names they give these kind of things.
And then the book is by Jeff Whitty. And
he's very witty. Is our Jeff Whitty, isn't he?
So Avenue Q is set in New York, with some puppets and some humans who sort of discuss life together. Little Princeton, I say little because he's a puppet. Little Princeton ends up in Avenue Q, and he meets a couple of different characters, and he really wants to find his purpose.
It's that little flame that lights a fire under your ass.
And he feels, because he has just graduated with a BA in English, that he needs to go out and make a difference in the world. But it doesn't always work that way.
Life doesn't work like that way, sunshine.
No. So it's about them navigating this new life. You know, he's 22. What's he going to do with a BA in English?
It kind of couples Sesame Street with a bit of cynicism, doesn't it, really?
It does. So it's a parody of Sesame Street.
Yeah.
And actually most of the puppeteers were from Sesame Street.
Yeah.
But it's said to be a fun, dirty show which shouldn't offend the most broad-minded. Yeah. And I love that. Like, you shouldn't be offended if you're broad-minded enough. You'll not take offence to it.
That's completely fair. You know, if you have issues with it, that says more about says more about you than the show, in my opinion.
I think so. So what Lopez has said about it is some people are quite resistant to adult singing, just bursting into song. But when puppets do it, it's accepted. So this is where this idea came from. So they were from maybe a generation where they would have learned life lessons through Sesame Street. So why then, whenever you become an adult, can you not get life lessons through puppets?
I've always had a bit of a funny relationship with puppets. In that... God, that's one for a t-shirt.
I've always had a funny relationship with puppets.
I mean...
I'm writing it down.
What I mean is I was never a fan of Sesame Street. I just didn't get it. I remember one year we did Panto, and one of the star turns in Panto was the Rainbow Gang. And they freaked the life out of me.
Oh, really?
Oh my God, yes. And then when you see what's behind the scenes, you go, oh, he puts his hand up. That's how that all works. Too much for me.
Did you do...
I like the Muppets now. So I never quite understood. That's why I mean it's quite complex of an issue. I never quite understood why Sesame Street bothered me so much. Why Big Bird gave me the heebie-jeebies. But I was okay with the Muppets.
Do you think it's because Sesame Street was done more educational and you couldn't take it seriously, that there was these puppets giving you lessons rather than Muppets were just entertainment?
That's a fair point, you know. So it meant then, when I was on my way to see Avenue Q for the first time, I didn't think I was going to like it. I thought this is going to be awful. And then ended up, like, loving it.
Yeah. No, it's great.
But like I do remember going, oh, why are we going to see this? It's puppets, like seriously? It's going to be awful. Can we not just go and see a tap show? And then loved it. Yeah.
I love that. So that's kind
complex.
of it. There is a story, but there's not a full story, supposedly. It's just one you kind of have to watch.
I mean, I think it plays homage to Sesame Street, as you said, and kind of corresponds with one of Brooklyn's remotest residential roads, like the closest place to the city that young out-of-towners could hope to live in. So that kind of linked in with real life. And then it focuses on or touches on a lot of troubles, like including an unfulfilling sex life, the temptation of internet pornography. We told you to turn off if you didn't want to hear it. Also that appeal of laughing out loud at others' misfortunes. Yeah. And then it also approached these themes really well. You know, the themes of racism and homosexuality. Like, it focused on both of those, but really well. Like, done in a really good way. Yeah. But also a little bit offensive at times and stereotypically, but with a heart behind it and a message. Do you know what I mean?
It's done
weird.
In a real way.
Yeah.
It's how real people talk to each other about these issues.
Yeah.
You know, or close friends would definitely talk, or close, you know, it's okay. You're allowed to have a debate about some things, but just with humour.
I agree, yeah. But, like, absolutely brilliant. I love it. It premiered off Broadway in 2003 at a theatre called the Vineyard Theatre, which I just think is a lovely name, isn't it?
I love the name Vineyard.
But then in July of that same year, it transferred to the Golden Theatre in Broadway, which I think speaks volumes. The fact that it opened in off-Broadway, a couple of months later, it's shoved into Broadway. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it ran there until 2009, playing for over 2,500 performances.
Which is a lot.
Is a lot, right?
It is a lot.
Then it transferred to off-Broadway, the New World Stages, within weeks of ending its Broadway run, where it then played until 2019.
Yes, I know. And in 2005, it took up residency in Las Vegas in the Wynn Hotel.
See?
Which it only went on to Broadway in 2003.
Yeah.
To then go straight for a full residency in Vegas.
Yeah.
So soon after that.
Yeah.
Shows you that, wow, it had like
legs.
A huge following already.
And between like the Broadway and the off-Broadway productions, those two productions, it played 6,569 performances, which is an insane amount of performances. Like,
yeah, that's crazy.
And then, not to mention, it ended up in the West End.
That's where years.
Where I saw it, and then it's been staged and toured in several countries around the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it came to the West End in 2006.
Right.
Was it at least 10 years it stayed there for, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like I said, it's toured, and also there is a junior version of it.
No.
Is there?
No, there is. There absolutely is. But I just am like, being a teacher, right?
Uh-huh.
Now, obviously, I know primary is very different to secondary, but I kind of go, wow, there's so many shows out there that you can do a junior version of. I'm just like, for a school to choose that as their junior version, like, I'm going, I don't know, I don't get it. I don't think as a show it could be tamed so much that it is acceptable for junior school. Or maybe it's great that it has a junior version, in that it is touching on all of these things that we've talked about. I don't know.
Maybe.
I just was amazed when I saw a junior version come out, and I went, whoa, really? Okay.
Yeah, I was a bit confused by that. But sometimes junior versions, like, I don't see why there's a junior version of Miss Saigon. To me, that's a bit weird as well.
Okay, yeah.
But, that's just my...
I think there's loads of musicals where it just is very difficult to ask young people to take on certain roles or certain
adult
concepts, or experiences.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think we come from a place where if you're doing a show, you have to be fully immersed in it, and you need to really understand what you're supposed to be, the story you're supposed to be telling.
Yeah.
And I think certain things like Miss Saigon, no young person could fully be able to understand what it's like.
I know.
I don't know. Maybe that's unfair of us.
Well, anyway,
we have brought Avenue Q up in the podcast before, though, in season 1, for 2 reasons. It is our executive producer who has his head in his hands again.
I just don't know what's happened to him in 2024.
Hello. It's actually one of his favourite musicals.
It is.
Is that right, Aaron?
That is correct, yep.
Great. Why do you like it?
It was the first one I went to see, and I think up to that moment, I thought musicals just weren't for me. I didn't understand people bursting into song. I don't like...
I know.
I probably lack of exposure.
How long
to
had you been dating Lauren, though? Surely she burst into song. Yeah, surely she had burst into song on numerous occasions by then.
And it was described to me in these exact words, Sesame Street for adults. And I thought, well, you got me interested. Let's go and have a look. And I just spent the whole time laughing.
Yeah.
Like, I just couldn't believe the words that were coming out of those puppets' mouths.
And the actions as well. Some of the actions of the puppets were a wee bit...
Because it was the first... Aaron could never understand why I would say, oh, I love this musical. And he'd be like, how many times have you seen it? And I'd be like, never. Like, I've never seen that musical. And he's like, no, how do you love that musical if you've never seen it? And I said, because you listen to the soundtrack and you do so much research around it. So he couldn't understand that you could get a musical just by listening to the cast recording.
We both can be a bit fanatical at times, can't we?
Yeah.
When it comes to musicals.
Yeah. So that was probably the first time that he ever experienced that, where I was like, listen to it, like, just listen to it and you'll find it funny. And he did. And I remember your friend Gareth really loving it, or our friend Gareth really loving it as well. And he thinking, oh, that would be really cool to see. I don't know why I spoke like that. But anyway, it would be really cool to see. And we were so lucky that we did get to go see it, and you wet yourself the entire time.
Yeah, it was hilarious, and that was an on-point impression. So,
was that okay? All right, that's fine.
It was like he was here.
Oh,
yeah.
And the other reason we mentioned it in the podcast was because it amazingly knocked off a big hitter in the Tony Awards. In the
2004 Tony Awards, it won 3 Tonys.
Best Musical, Best Book and Best Score.
Yeah, but it beat Wicked.
Yeah, it kicked Wicked's butt.
Yeah, and do you want to just get your wee tally chart out there, Aaron? Documentary number 2.
No way, we're 2 episodes in and we've got 2 documentaries. I can't cope with this. There's one a week, is there?
So I have spoke about this documentary before. It's called The Road to Broadway. It's on YouTube. And it is about Avenue Q, Wicked, Caroline for Change.
Yeah.
And the other one.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. And it is about them, all leading up to the Tonys. And get your tally chart out again. There's another one.
2 in 1 episode. I can't cope.
Another one by Wait in the Wings. I've mentioned them before. And it is Avenue Q versus Wicked, and how Avenue Q ended up winning.
Oh, okay.
So there was a massive campaign. So
No.
they campaigned.
Oh, they campaigned to win?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
yeah.
it worked. Well done.
Yeah, so well done. And I think from one of those, I've also read that Wicked didn't necessarily need to win to stay on for 20 years.
Yeah, no fair.
Because it's still there.
It's still there.
Well, Avenue Q winning did more.
But that speaks volumes. Like, it is exactly what this musical's all about. It's so ballsy. The fact they went, okay, we're going to take Wicked on.
Yes.
We're going to make this into a competition. Like, let's campaign to win the Tony off Wicked. Like, I love that.
And actually, you see Nathan Lane open up the envelope and go, and best musical goes to, and his eyes, like his eyebrows go up, and he goes, Avenue Q!
Yeah, very good.
So,
I think it deserves every Tony it got, to be fair. I think it was a brilliant, brilliant show.
very, very
Shall we move on to our musical Lyrical Lingo?
Well, I've got some fun facts.
Go for it.
Is that okay?
Of course,
So,
always.
fun facts. As we said, it's a musical comedy with puppets. Not every character is a puppet, though.
That's right. I'm trying to count in my head. There's
So
definitely 3
Princeton,
actors.
There's the 2 monsters. There's Katie Monster, Trekkie Monster.
Roger Nicky.
Rod and Nikki.
Rod and Nicky.
We have the Good Idea Bear and Bad Idea Bear. And
Oh, the
Lucy, the
and the
slut.
headmistress.
yeah. So we have 9.
Yeah.
We have about 9.
Brilliant.
And
Lucy
then
the
we
slut.
have... Well, that's her name.
I know, I love it. I can make you feel special when it sucks to be you. Ba-dum. Honestly, I was
can play all of the
I
parts.
was saying this to you before we started the episode. Every word, still have it.
Yeah, you've got it. Still got it.
Or did we say that on the episode and I just have forgotten that I
I
said
think you
that?
probably did.
Oh, dear.
Puppets cost £10,000 each. With 120 hours of hand fabrication per character. So that's 9. That is a lot of hours. I can't do maths. So, yeah, as I said, it was a parody of Sesame Street. It's a fun, dirty show. And then it was, and I'm not too sure Aaron knows this fact, it was inspired by the South Park movie.
It has South Park written all over it.
So, Robert Lopez is a massive South Park, or massive Matt Stone and Trey Parker fan. At that time, there was another Muppet film out. Can you remember? Puppet. Not Muppet. Puppet.
Team America?
Team America. Okay?
Oh, they said a bad word at the end of that, didn't they? Team America.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. I just didn't. See, there's me again with my feelings about puppets.
Yeah.
I just didn't.
You just didn't get it.
Understand it. Didn't find it funny.
Okay.
Completely over my head.
Because they had just done that, I think it was Trey Parker knew that he was going to be able to convince Matt Stone to go and see Avenue Q.
Okay.
Because he's not really into like puppets or music, as in going to see musicals. But they went to see it in the first act. He was like, I'm staying for the second.
Brilliant.
I love it. It's great.
Yeah.
On that night, Robert Lopez happened to be there. And they were like, oh my goodness, we need to meet each other. We're both huge fans of each other. And they discussed their respect for each other, discussed new plans, and that is where Book of Mormon came from.
Nice. Okay. Another brilliant musical we'll have to do this year.
That is, Avenue Q. If we didn't have Avenue Q, we would not have Book of Mormon.
That's amazing.
Isn't it?
Yeah. I didn't know that. That's
And
cool.
it was Robert Lopez respected Matt Stone and Trey Parker so much that he had said, I want to do a musical about Joseph Smith. And they went, that's what we want to do too. And he goes, well, if yous are going to do it, take it.
Yeah. Okay.
And they went, no, we'll do it together.
Oh, nice.
So isn't that great?
Lovely. Very good.
Okay, now we can move on to musical lyrical lingos.
All right.
Yeah.
What did you learn?
Well, the first thing I learned about Gary Coleman.
I'm Gary Coleman from TV's Different Strokes. I made a lot of money that got stolen by my folks.
So,
see, every word.
Gary Coleman was an actor from a very popular TV show called Different Strokes.
What you talking about, Willis?
And that was his catchline. Catchphrase? That was his catchphrase.
That's a TV show, game show.
It is. And he originally was consulted and he was going to play that part.
Oh, was he?
He was going to play that part, but he did not show up to the meeting.
He sounds like a bit of a mess, doesn't he, Gary Coleman? Oh, am I going to get sued? Probably. Can I say that? Take it out. Take it out.
He didn't. He didn't show up to the meeting, so that was where they made the decision that they would just get a female to play that part.
Yeah, that's right.
He was then going to sue them, and then he backed out.
That's right. So in Avenue Q, the musical, Gary Coleman, the character Gary Coleman, now 33, is working as a janitor of the building in which the actions all take place. Superintendent of Avenue Q, but is a janitor. Basically, that's it. Like, he's fixing the toilets and fixing anything that's broken.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. A bit of an exaggeration of the true life Gary's plight, but not by much. Yeah,
because
the betrayal comes close to the bone, like, doesn't it?
It does. So I sort of remember something, maybe in like pop culture or TV shows or whatever, that maybe would have referenced about Gary Coleman and the fact that his parents took his money.
Yeah.
And
I had no idea who he was, so it completely went over my head the first time I saw the show until I went, who is this Gary Coleman?
That's pretty common with child actors, though, isn't it?
It is.
100%.
The parents, put themselves in a situation where they're accountable for their financial gains and then spend it, treat themselves a little too often, and then the kid has to resort to whatever. They have a rough childhood growing up, and they take on any jobs, and then they just don't find fame as an adult.
Yeah, and actually, I've listened to quite a lot of
documentaries.
Yeah, podcasts of some 90s stars who that has happened to, and it was only whenever they officially so their parents maybe would have been their managers, and then they were taking so much money, and then whenever they officially turned 18, then the tax bills that they had to pay, and that's where they, that as IRS in America, and they were sending them all this information, all of a sudden they had to pay it all back. It's really sad.
It is sad. One of the songs in Avenue Q is called "It Sucks to Be You," where like almost every character in the show is like kind of going, my life sucks. I've got this problem. This is happening to me. This is happening. Yep. And by the end of the number, all of the characters are going, nah, fair enough. Yeah. Gary, your life sucks the most.
Yes.
Like, he wins the competition. It's like, nah, our life's bad, but yours sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Gary Coleman. I'm not going to get sued, am I?
No, you'll be fine.
I mean, I'm just stating fact. I read it from somewhere.
No, I think the fact that he didn't take Avenue Q, he didn't sue them in the end.
Okay then,
we'll be okay. He also died.
Oh, did he? Is he gone?
Yeah, he's dead.
Oh, God rest his soul. I'm so sorry, Gary. I didn't know that at all. That's awful. Why are you laughing at somebody who's died? Lauren, stop that.
What are you talking about, Timothy?
God. I'm laughing. Because you're so
I'm here, the superintendent, and Avenue Q. It sucks to be you.
You were so sincere. I was
sincere. Crapping myself that I was going to get a letter in the post next week going, Mr. Bell.
Oh dear, Gary.
Mr. Coleman is wanting to sue you for $1 million. I don't have $1 million.
So that's I learned about him. In the lovely song "If You Were Gay," if you were gay, that'd be okay. Okay.
'Cause I mean, hey, I like you anyway.
So, at the very beginning of the song,
if you were queer, I'd still be here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're okay. Rod and Nikki live together.
Yeah.
And Rod is so happy that Nikki is not there because he is sitting down and he's reading his favourite book.
An afternoon alone with my favourite book.
A History of Musicals.
Broadway musicals. But in that, I learned about a musical.
Oh, did you? He mentions high button shoes.
Yes.
I've never heard of high button shoes.
There you go.
So, 1947 musical. Where he's sitting reading his book. It was written by Jill Stein, who we know, Gypsy and Funny Girl, and it is based on a novel. The sisters liked them handsome. So I learned from that.
Great song.
What about you?
That is a great song. And then Nicky comes in, he's like, Nicky!
Yeah. I'm trying to read my book.
I am trying to read.
Why do I care? What do you have for lunch day? Okay, love it. Did you have anything in this?
The show is really bright and cheerful, right? It's a really bright, cheerful musical, but it serendipitously asks what acceptance really means.
Yeah.
It's kind of a show about acceptance of lots of different, of lots of different things and reasons, and so that kind of jumped out at me when I saw it, and then saw it again, and then saw it again. And it delivers those important lessons about racism, prejudice, and getting along with others, really. Then I also learned what do you do with the BA in English. And I realised from that song, because it's all about, Princeton arrives in Avenue Q. He has a BA in English, yet he has not got a job. It has not helped him one little bit. He sings, 4 years in college and plenty of knowledge has earned me this useless degree. And that's exactly how I feel about my degree.
Yeah. And
most degrees, to be honest.
So he also says, can't pay the bills yet. Because I have no skills yet. Okay, so this would actually be an argument that Aaron and I would have quite a lot.
Oh God, I'm not
No, not together. No, not together with other people.
Yeah.
Is uni the right option? And especially at this time, this was a time where we were deciding, was uni the right option for us? And uni is not always the right option.
No, far from.
You do need skills to get a job, but if you've gone and just been in education for too long, it's very hard to go and earn because you don't have those skills yet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I think it's something, I know I felt very pressurised whenever we were that age that you had to go straight on to university.
Yeah.
You had to.
Well, it was even that whole thing of when, I was talking to the career officer and I was like, I'm thinking of doing musical theatre or going into the bit. They were like, well, what? No. You need to get a skill. You need to have it. And I'm like, that is a bloody skill. Hello, have you seen me sing and dance?
Yeah.
I think the problem is whenever we were going through school, we were being told by teachers who left school, got a degree, and that was their pathway to success or pathway into their career anyway. And they did it, say, 20 years before we did, whenever degrees were maybe more highly sought after.
Yeah.
Whereas now they're a dime a dozen. If you want to separate yourself from your competitors, which whenever you're going for a job, it's a competition effectively. You need to stand out, and a degree doesn't make you stand out. You need a master's degree at least now.
Yeah.
If you're going down that route into a job, and there's a lot of graduates come out and never get into graduate roles.
Yeah.
That's it. Oh God, do you know what? I'm glad we did it all when we did it rather than now. I think it's a wild world out there now with regards to getting a job and getting your foot in the door, and I just wouldn't.
I think a lot has to be said for gap years.
Oh, it's one of my biggest regrets that I didn't take one and didn't do it.
Think that they should be encouraged more,
so
that you can really think, because it's a lot, and we've talked about all the pressures that there are in life, especially whenever you're a teenager. What's your GCSEs, what's your A levels, what uni you're going to do, what job are you going to get, blah 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 blah. So gap years would really just sort of help break that.
I think if I had done that, I wouldn't be here. I think I would probably be living and working in New Zealand. Because I had said when I came out, if I didn't get a teaching post within the first 2 years, I was going to go to New Zealand, because at that time they were looking, they were actively seeking for teachers.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm going to do that. If I don't get a job here within the next 2 years, I'm going to go to New Zealand and live and work out there. And then I got a job and I was like, there goes that dream. Whereas I should have just been a brave boy, pulled my socks up and gone anyway, regardless of whether I got a job here or not. But sure, hey-ho. Gosh, that was very, very deep there for a moment. Yeah. Let's move on to It Sucks to Be Me.
Yeah.
And I am right. It sucks to be me has taught me that I am right, because one of the lines says, you do such anal things like ironing your underwear.
Who
Now,
does that?
I know people who iron their underwear, including people who iron their bed sheets. And I'm going, sorry, what?
No.
You're getting in, you're wearing your underwear and they will be creased within a matter of seconds. You're getting into a bed and the bed will be creased within a matter of seconds. Why waste your time? Especially, I hate ironing.
Yeah,
it is the one job I can't stand. I do it, but only do it when I really have to. I think if I rocked in with shirts that weren't ironed in school, I wouldn't.
So you just iron what you need rather than stand and doing
100%,
When we first got married, I was like, okay, maybe I should be a good housewife and I will, have an
iron his underwear.
No, have an ironing pile. And I put a movie on and I stood and I did about 3 things and I went, nope, never doing this again. And that was 13 years ago and I've never picked up the iron since.
I know. That's it. No. So it sucks to be me. Just verified that my opinion is right about ironing and underwear.
Yeah. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
what
good.
About you?
So everyone's a little bit racist.
Everyone is a little bit racist.
Yeah. No, let's be honest.
Now, here is also my issue. We've got to be careful in this day and age that we're not cancelled because of this episode and what, some of the things we're talking about in this musical. Because when this musical was written, there wasn't that culture that there now seems to be.
Yes.
I 100% agree that certain people and certain companies deserve to be cancelled by some of the things they say when they overstep the mark or when what they say or their actions are really, really inappropriate. But I think the world has just gone so crazy and is so heightened to everything that it's like you say the smallest little thing and you're like, oh, be careful, you can't say that anymore. And it's like, well, listen to Avenue Q, because Avenue Q wouldn't have happened today.
No, definitely wouldn't have.
And it's brilliant and there's a lot of lessons you get out of it, because you open yourself to these songs like Everybody's a Little Bit Racist, which is talking about that. Some things that people do that quintessentially, when you boil it down, has racism behind it. Do you know what I mean? But you wouldn't necessarily think that until somebody points it out to you. Yeah.
No, that's right. And I was doing a lot this week with some of my learners about rights and responsibilities. And after World War II, United Nations got together and wrote loads of rights. And one of the rights is that you have the right to your own thoughts and opinions.
Yeah.
And you should not force those upon somebody else.
Yeah.
And allow them to have their own thoughts and opinions. And it was great speaking to young 16-year-olds about this who maybe feel very strongly or feel very differently to me.
Yeah. Not old 16-year-olds.
What?
Not old 16-year-olds.
Not old. But, just going back to that and remembering we all are entitled to our own thoughts and opinions.
Absolutely.
And let's not force anybody to think a certain way just because you think that.
I agree. Well, if you learned that everyone's a little bit racist, from Avenue Q, I learned that the internet is for porn.
But the internet is for porn and a really good investment. I mean, that is, we think he's just being rude and going, the internet is for porn. But at the end, we figure out that's how he made $10 million.
There we go. This is Trekkie Monster we're talking about. If you don't know, go listen to it.
Yeah.
You will laugh out loud at that song, though. Some of the lyrics are particularly hilarious.
Especially because Katie Monster is going,
Trekkie Monster, you are so
she's going,
gross.
Internet.
I think she calls him, you're so gross.
It's really, really great.
For porn. Are you impressed? Literally, I'm telling you, I think I could play every goddamn puppet in this show.
Love it. Oh, I have one from Purpose.
Yeah?
And he says, smoking grass I never knew what smoking grass was.
Wind your neck.
Whenever I was
Even
first...
I knew what smoking grass meant.
No, I actually thought people just smoked grass.
Oh, wise up, look.
No, I did.
I don't believe you for a second. You are not that naive.
Not now, at aged 30.
But we would have come to this at a decent age anyway. Like, we weren't 12.
We were 17.
12? Yeah, exactly. You didn't know what smoking grass was at 17.
No, I did not know what smoking grass was.
Pull the other one, will you?
I thought it was smoking grass. I did not realise it was weed.
Okay. I mean, anyone who doesn't know what purpose is, it's a song about him questioning what is the purpose of his life. Mm-hmm. I can't remember how smoking grass comes into it.
It goes, at a job, smoking grass, or maybe a pottery class. I did not sing that in tune.
No, that was out of tune, but that's why we love you. Okay, shall we move on?
Yes.
Mixed tape.
Oh, you sang that, didn't you?
I know. So, Mixtape is a song that Kate Munster sings about Princeton making her a mixtape.
Yes.
And she really likes Princeton, and it turns out Princeton really likes them too. Uh-huh. And let me tell you, you've never seen puppets go at it.
Nope.
Like they go at it.
When you can be as loud as the hell you want
when you're making love. When you're making love, ha! You can be as loud as the hell you want when you're making love, love, love. Sorry, I know every song.
Don't put your finger there. Put your finger there!
And we will not be back ever again. Executive producers, put the hood up and over. You know, like those hoods with the string, and then you put it up over your head, and then you pull the string as tight as you can, so you actually can't see any more face. Like, but so funny, I didn't really get that whole concept of what a mixtape was. Oh. And then realised, right,
okay,
we made each other mixtapes the whole way through school.
I know, and I was going to talk about this. Yeah, and you and a couple of other friends for my birthday one year made me a mixtape. It wasn't a tape, it was a CD.
CD, yeah. Burning CDs was all the rage when we were in school.
Number two.
Here we go.
Number two. The first one was...
How do you remember this?
I just say everybody had picked like a song either that reminded them of me or a song that I always sang. And there was number two, there was this really slow instrumental song, and I was like, this is really lovely, but could somebody tell me who picked that? And our friend Alison said it was Tim playing a sound. I was like, oh, thank you so much. Why did you choose Moon River?
Moon River?
And you were like, because you love that song. And I was like, well, first of all, it's instrumental. Nobody's singing on it. And no, I don't love that song.
Where did I get that from?
And then you were like, where did I get that from? And you were like, do you not like that? And then you were like, oh no, oh gosh, no, I don't think that's what I meant. So yeah.
Gee whiz. But in the musical, the lyric goes, he made a mixtape. He was thinking of me, which shows he cares. Sometimes when someone has a crush on you,
I know,
they'll make you a mixtape to give you a clue. That was not my intention when I made those mixtapes for you,
you made
Lauren,
me quite a lot.
Just
and I did make you quite a lot.
Oh no, like it was back and forth. We also did write like wee letters to each other, which was dead cute.
And I have all those letters.
Aaron's now showing me the fist, like... Is he threatened by me?
Oh, right. Yeah, he's so threatened.
What the listeners don't know is we did date for all of a day.
It was a long day.
It was memorably not what I was looking for.
I get that.
Oh, easy. Oh, my goodness. Oh, God. Okay, really, thanks for the recording tonight, guys.
I love where she's like, a lot can be said on a mixtape, and it's like, you got a friend. The theme from Friends. That's what friends are for.
See, Moon River, that's a friendship tune right there.
Is it?
No idea.
And then she goes, Fat Bottom Girl.
Yellow Submarine. What does it mean?
Yeah.
To be fair... I also didn't know half of the songs on the mixtape.
The Russia concert?
Yeah, so it says, Good Night Saigon from the Russian concert. It's actually a Billy Joel Goodnight Saigon.
Is that how you say his
Joel,
surname?
Billy Joel.
Billy Joel.
Billy Joel.
Joel.
Who should it be? Billy Joel.
Just trying to bring a bit of class to proceedings, folks. She also sings about Through the Years, the theme from Cheers. Through the Years was a Kenny Rogers number. And Moving Right Along was a Muppets song. So a little cheeky nod to the puppeting friends, the Muppets, which I thought was quite nice.
That's cute. But what I love about that song as well, she's out, as most females do, like, really looking at this mixtape, like, what does it mean? He's gone into our bathroom, taking a poo, and goes, please don't go in there for a while.
Yeah.
And then he was like, oh, I'm so glad you like it. I'm away to make loads more mixtapes. And then she's like, oh, I thought that I was special.
Bless you.
Oh, no.
Is that how you felt way back in the day? Oh,
I did wonder, does he even know me?
Moon River.
Moon River.
I would love to go back in time and work out what the hell I was thinking.
Lauren, he dated you in school. I wouldn't be asking, did he know you, but did he know himself at that stage?
No. It just didn't. We didn't click, did it?
We did click, but we're much better as friends. Yeah.
Here. I love you.
That's it. Did you learn any German?
Yes.
Yeah.
You want me to say it because you don't know how to say it?
Yeah.
Schadenfreude. That was harmonised.
I know. That was pretty good.
Done. Us. That doesn't happen often. And you know, if we were... We'll listen back to this and go, oh my God. Next week's episode will start with a disclaimer or an apology. We're really sorry, guys. We listened back to it and it actually was awful. It was acoustics, yeah. So what does Schadenfreude mean?
Pleasure in other people's pain.
German for happiness at the misfortune of others. Yeah.
Aaron loved that.
Me too. Because I think I am one of those people. Are you, Aaron? Do you enjoy the misfortune of others?
Yeah. When it's appropriate. I love whenever karma, pays a visit to people.
Bites you in the ass.
Gotcha.
Yeah, absolutely. But a lot of the examples in the song, I'm like, yep, right there with you. Waitress dropping a tray of glasses is in the song.
But that's a very Northern Irish thing where we go, yo!
Figure skaters falling on their asses. I remember many a Christmas trip maybe to London where there's the Winter Wonderland or the skating rink. I will never get on a skating rink.
No, I know.
Ever. We've had this conversation haven't we, in the Elf episode.
I know, yeah.
But I do love standing around the outside wetting myself. There have been times where my brother and I literally have had to cross our legs because we are absolutely in hysterics at somebody who is really struggling and we're near wetting ourselves.
I know. When somebody does fall, it's very funny.
I can't. No, see those things whilst I say, I would be a wee bit of shouting for it, it's more, as I say, whenever it's karma, see people dropping trays or people falling on the floor or anything like that. No, I die of secondhand embarrassment for them.
Oh no, you're trying to be a nice person.
I mean,
you've outed yourself already.
Well, it was worth a try.
Yeah, nice try. I don't believe you. Another one of my favourites, and it makes me laugh, especially in the Tonys, is actors never reaching the end of their acceptance speech.
Yeah.
I love it when they start to play the music over the top of them. I'm like, yes!
Especially if they're being very political.
Oh,
and it's
bog off. Just say, thank you very much. I had a wonderful time.
Yeah.
Have a good night, everyone.
Yeah,
Don't be going into the, I just want to say this has been a real church. Shut up, get off the stage. That's why those award ceremonies are 72 hours long. It's bug off.
Yeah, no, that is good.
Anyway.
Yep.
Do you have any others?
And go back to college.
Yes, so, I wish I could go back to college.
Yeah, so it mentions major. Well, we don't reference that whenever we're at university. So a major just means your main subject.
Yeah.
And I learned that. And then TA,
teaching assistant.
Teaching assistant.
Yeah, I only know that because I'm a teacher, to be fair. I also, from that number, went, okay, actually, it is the same everywhere, no matter where you go to college. Because one of the lines says, sitting in a computer lab 4 a.m. before the final paper's due, cursing the world that I didn't start sooner, and seeing the rest of the class there too. And that is 100% my experience of university and my first degree.
And I was listening to that today, being like, I wonder, is there the same panic in a computer lab because everybody would have laptops now?
That's very true.
So wonder, would the atmosphere be
true.
Very different? Would you be having those stresses?
I just also think the atmosphere would be different as a mature student. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it would be such a big, like any of it would be such a big deal if you were a mature student.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's what he's basically talking about, you know. If he was to go back now and do it all again, and then, because I think at the end he would say, but he couldn't because he'd look around the room and say, these kids are so much younger than me. Which I don't think should matter. But I just wonder if the stress and the whole atmosphere and the feeling around it would be so much more chilled.
I think so. I went back a few years ago into my master's, which is a little bit different because, you know, it is more a break, but a lot of kids do go straight from their undergrad. But it was a different atmosphere because you kind of knew what was expected. I think it's all those new experiences, living away from home and meeting new friends and all of that. But
I just don't know how people do masters now, like especially the likes of you and you know other people I know who have a job and are working and they do it as well as I can do it. I couldn't.
I wouldn't recommend it.
I could not juggle that at all.
Another thing I learnt in my girlfriend lives in Canada.
I wish you could meet her.
Okay, so the fact that her name is Alberta, but
are you going to do the whole lyric?
No. So
her name is Alberta. She lives in Vancouver.
And then at the end, he gets confused and he goes, "No, wait. Her name is Alberta, or she lives in Alberta. No, wait, her name is Alberta. She lives in Vancouver." So they're just two places I know in Canada because of that song.
There you go. Great song, which is all of probably 60 seconds, isn't it? But like so brilliant.
And so rude at the end.
Well, I know I went to sing it there and went, no, stopped him.
Yeah. But yeah, I think those are just a few things from the actual lyrics, and then the whole show altogether just taught that it's okay to not have it all figured out.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
You know, because you've got Princeton, who's in his 20s, the rest of them are sort of there, and then you've got Christmas Eve and her husband, and they're in their 30s, and they're still trying to figure stuff out.
Bless you.
Bless you. So it is okay to not have it all figured out. Life is hard, but everything is only for now.
Yes. And in the show, they said George Bush was only for now.
Yes.
And that's how old the show was. And then I think they did change it to Donald Trump for a while.
I think they can update that because it's just, you know,
just stick somebody in.
Your hair is only for now.
Insensitive in current companies.
No, but I just mean...
You shouted that in your husband's face, and let me tell you, I'm not far behind him, so cut that out, please.
I'm trying to think of what the other one is. Your hair is only for now. Sex is only for now. That's the other one. That's why I wasn't saying it. Anyway, never mind.
Oh, look at you. Sweetness and light. Didn't
others.
know what smoking grass was. I dead on.
And about helping others is actually, there's no selfless deed in helping others. Because if you help others...
Oh, yeah, there is that song, isn't there?
Yeah.
Give us your money, all that you got.
Yeah.
Very good.
The power of
hold on a wee minute.
What?
You laughed at me at the beginning of the episode when I said I was a bit funny with regards to puppets. Mm-hmm. What have I just seen on your booklet? I've always had a weird relationship with puppet. Yeah. Do you want to explain yourself?
Yeah, I will explain myself because that's the quote that you said at the beginning of the episode, which I've written down.
For
merchandise.
Oh, you're going to cast that? I was like, yes, haha, I've got her. She was judging me, and there she has it in her own bloody notes.
That's why it's written there as we go up the book.
Oh, well, I've just totally landed myself in it for the second time. Oh, for goodness sake. Do you have any standing ovations then?
Okay, I just think the whole thing is a standing ovation.
Yeah. I love it too.
The puppetry has to be insane. Yeah, just the way that you forget that you're watching puppets.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen, like, it's a show that I never thought, like, an amateur company would ever be able to do, but I have seen it done, and they did a wonderful job.
And did they get a lot of
they got the actual puppets, like, oh yeah, no, they like it was sold out, like it was amazing.
No, sorry, what I mean is, did they spend time working with
I think people
puppeteer?
came over to like to help them with the puppets, like puppeteers, that's what they would be called, Tim. No, I think the whole show's hilarious, and it's brave. I loved its bravery at the time when I first saw it. I love Lucy the Slut, that we haven't really spoken about very much.
No,
but like, to be able to make a puppet sexy in the way she walks, and very funny.
And I love as well that, so it talks about everything has consequences too, because they go and watch Lucy, and then that helps like Princeton and Kate get together that night, because the bears just say, go, she's wasted, take her home. But because Lucy doesn't pass on a note about the fact that Princeton likes her, somebody throws a penny out the top and it lands on Lucy's head, and then she ends up in a coma, and then she wakes up and she's a Christian, it's just there's loads of like consequences.
I forgot she ends up like that at the end. Very good.
A real sort of like a change. But
if you were to pick one puppet as your favourite, what puppet would be your favourite from Avenue Q? I know that's a really hard question, but hey, that's why we do the podcast, folks.
I'm going to say Trekkie Monster, because he's not in it a huge amount.
Oh, Cake Monster, Sticks and Stones.
Yeah, I'm going to say that.
That's a nice choice. Mine would be a Rod. Isn't it Rod? No, it's not Rod. Rod.
Yeah.
I think he's hilarious.
Yeah, I like them. They're best friends.
And the Bad Idea Bears, to be fair.
Yeah, they're cute.
They are cute,
because they're cute
very
bears.
Naughty.
But yeah, they give bad ideas. Connections then? Did you just...
I have, like, literally the only connections I have to it are having seen it a couple of times and loving it, and then that one time that I saw an amateur company do it and go, I never thought I would see this. Like, I never thought this would happen. So that's the only connections I have. What about you?
Well, just that Aaron loved it, so it was one of those, yes, I've got a musical that he will enjoy, and he did really enjoy it, and then we went to see it. We then sent my parents to go and see it, not with us.
Sorry, I'm choking.
But they fell asleep. What? They had got... Do you remember, like, for a while, one of the flight companies or airlines were doing early flights in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning to London, so that they could get like an extra day there. Well, they had got one of those and fell asleep during Avenue Q.
I'm almost sure, now these facts might be very terribly wrong, I'm almost sure the first time we saw it was in, what's that big massive theatre called in London that Harry Potter's Cursed Child's in at the moment? Is it the Palace? We saw it in that, and I think we were quite high up. I think we were like almost in the gods kind of thing.
Yeah.
But we saw it as a family. Oh. Like, how progressive is that? Now, to be fair to my poor mother, I'm not so sure they knew what they were going to see. Okay. But also, to be fair to them, we came out of it like wetting ourselves and roaring and reliving different moments. Oh, do you remember that bit when that happened? Or do you remember that song about this? Like, we loved it. Like, it was brilliant. But it was the Palace. Yes! Fact checked, and I was right. It was the Palace Theatre that I saw it in for the first time as a family. How lovely.
That's cute.
And then I think I saw it the second time in the Noel Coward, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then saw it in Belfast when it toured.
Brilliant.
Love it. I wish it would do more tours. Like, I would love to see it again. As I say, I haven't seen it or heard the soundtrack for so many years. It's been lovely to revisit it. Yeah.
I know, I suppose it really was of its time as well, because it was quite brave, as you said. But I think it should, as it said, it shouldn't offend the most broad-minded. So hopefully people will Just put
Come
on
back
the big.
and listen to us next week.
I know. Anna Harada, is that how you say her surname? She played the original Christmas Eve.
She's in everything now.
She's in Smigadoon.
Of course she is.
And she has a great song in Schmigadoon, which is, there's a queer one, that Man Oh Mine. It's hilarious. Okay. And the way she sings it is so funny.
She is funny, though. She was brilliant this Christmas Eve, too.
Yeah. And the name was picked, Christmas Eve was picked as an American name that she would have picked herself, the character.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool, because I always wondered why she was called Christmas Eve. That's a lovely touch. Very good.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, yeah, you know we're not doing clues, but then you did a clue last week.
I know.
We actually can't do a clue this week because we haven't decided what musical we're doing next. That's how organised we are, folks.
No, I just realised that.
It's all good. Listen, it's good to keep them guessing. And I thought we weren't doing clues anyway.
I know, well, we weren't.
So, folks, if you do come back after that risky episode, okay, we're pushing the boundaries, aren't we? Will we push the boundaries just as much next week, or will we go? Well, or we're not, right? Okay.
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, who knows? I'm trying to think what can be
what
more.
No,
pushing.
we'll not. We'll not. We'll do something musical.
Love that 3-part harmony. Aaron,
let's do it.
You up for it? 3-part harmony next week?
Go for it.
You may start warming those vocals up now, sunshine. All right. Until next week.
Bye.
Bye.